Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Make a Sci-Fi or PG part 17. Episode 17, I do believe. In the last episode we were painting the skin weights onto player 2.0. We'd rigged it. We're having issues with the deformation and stuff. I spent a lot of time on this model. Just memories of terrible. It's been so much time just trying to fix this bit of deformation down here. I don't think I need to. I tried loads of things, right? So I should really. It's been a while since I recorded the last episode, or at least recorded the audio over the last episode. So I'm just cleaning up skin weights here so that, when the leg moves, you don't really need to move other parts of it. I don't, It's again something we haven't done in college, so I'm not entirely certain if I'm doing it correctly or incorrectly or what the crack is. But I've watched some tutorials and this is what they do, and they explain it quite well. So I do my best just to tidy it up a little bit. But the issue, I don't even move the knees and the legs and stuff to check to see if I needed to change any of that. The spine should be fine. It's the arm, it's this bit I'm having loads of trouble with. Because when you move your shoulder, you don't move like your pecs or your back, right? Well, maybe a little bit, but not that much. I mean, that's not. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, excuse me. Wow. The sun has come back out here in Ireland, which means my hay fever has come back. Yeah, gotta love hay fever. I spend so much time. I don't even know how many videos I actually ended up recording of me doing this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a short video today of like a little... And just fly through me doing this because I spent some. It's basically all the same. What I do is I kind of take out the weights. So the black bits are the bits that aren't going to be deformed when that bone moves or that joint. So I black out the bits that I don't want to move, and if I take out too much, I add white bits back in so that the bits maybe still get a little bit stretchy there, but it doesn't. Again, this is for a college project. I was running out of time. It didn't need to. Okay, well, you know what? That's fair. When you look at it on that side, it's terrible. So I keep working on it. It seems to be the armpit that has a lot of issues. I had an issue where there was one vertex that it just stuck out. It's very strange. So I tried to manually move it into place. So that's what it was like. It was just sticking out like that. I tried to manually move it into place. But then when the arm was up, because when the arm was up, that's when it stuck out. So I manually moved it back into place. But then when I moved the arm back down, it moved out of place. So there you can see it doesn't look like it's coming out, but if I rotate the camera around to the front view, where is it? Okay, maybe not. I had issues with it anyway. Turns out there's I don't even know, I can't remember where it was, but there's a hammer tool, because apparently this is a very common problem in rigging and painting skin weights and stuff. There is a hammer tool that you can just hammer the odd bold vertex into place. It's very handy, actually. It's here. That tool there. It's the hammer tool. You can just hammer in, or you can select a vertex, hammer it into place. So I spend so much time on this. Player 2.0. Stressing out, getting closer and closer to my deadline. Look, it's probably best not to do this when the arm is up. Unless you're doing it, like maybe I should have been doing it in a T-pose. See, that's where the fucking vertex is. Pisses me off. Because you have to import it into Unity in a T-pose. So maybe when you rig it, put it into when you put it into T-pose, it's going to deform all this anyway. I don't know. That's the honest answer. I just don't know. I'm learning game design. This is animation. And there's a whole other course for that. Yeah, this is handy to know for game design, and I do find it kind of interesting, and I like the idea of making my own characters and their own animations, but time-consuming and difficult. But the end result, if it's good, kind of makes it worth it, I think. We'll just kind of keep going, so I'm not just doing the same thing, trying to get it as good as possible. Oop, see, there, right, little fucking thing. It's been ages trying to fix that. Possibly this whole video. Trying to fix that one little vertex, trying to, is it painted? So I'll unpaint it so it would go back in, but it wouldn't unpaint. Try to manually move it. Didn't work. I duplicate it to see if I can get this to work better. To try rig it in a different way. So this one I rigged manually. This one I was going to use the auto rig function and see if that was any better. And then if this works better, then I would just delete this one and use this instead. Let's see, that looks, but then you still get this kind of wing effect. Like when I lift my arm up, I don't have a wing. I've got a bit of fat that you can grab onto, but who doesn't, right? So this is him in his T-pose. It has been a while since I've recorded, and you know what? The reason that I haven't come back to this series for a while, it's not just because I've started other series. It's that's part of it, I guess. It's that I knew that these were the videos that I had left. No, not left to record. I've got more than this, but these were the next videos to record, and God, I don't know. I guess I just thought that it would be incredibly boring content. But the whole point of the channel is to show you what goes into game development. And sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's tedious. I'm not going to not show this, but I'm going to try and get through it as quickly as possible and get some more fun, interesting stuff. I'm adding edge loops in because when you're in areas where there's deformation happening, the more edge loops you have, the better the deformation will look, because you've got more structure and more vertexes and polygons to play with and to move around. So I figured that might be a better way to do it. But the only problem with doing this is that I was trying to keep it as low poly as possible. And by adding in edge loops, you're creating more polygons. So it kind of negates the whole purpose of trying to do a low poly mesh. I also did some subdivision stuff where I actually turned the low poly model into a high poly model. Just duplicate the skeleton over and just see how this works. But then then I ended up with a high poly model, which was even with the edge loops put in, it's pretty bad. This was a very stressful time for me. And I spent so much, the thing is, it didn't need to be perfect. It's easy to say now, in retrospect, it didn't need to be perfect. Okay, it didn't need to be perfect, but I would have liked it to be better than that. And I got it to be better than that. It's perseverance pays off. I say perseverance, stubbornness, really, I guess. Although one man's perseverance is another man's stubbornness, I could say. I got it slowly better and better and better. Eventually, I ended up not going with extra edge loops, so I think I deleted the extra edge loops. Oh no, I only used the extra edge loops on the duplicate model. So I kept this guy. Anything I was trying that I wasn't sure if it was going to work, I used on this guy. This is where I'm doing subdivisions. So I'd always have my original low poly model to go back to, just in case. Which is a good idea, because you don't want to, if I just completely ruined this model, and I didn't have this guy to go back to, I'd be pretty pissed off. So I put in some subdivisions, and it goes from low poly to a high poly, higher poly. I mean, it's not working. There we go. Like, ridiculous. This is supposed to be my low poly mesh. So that didn't work either. Painting skin weights. And even with the high poly, I was just getting it wrong. Because I'd never done it before, I haven't been shown how to do it. I did ask my friend, I think I said this in the last episode, that my friend Angelica is actually just graduated actually, from the animation course in the same college as me. So I showed her the trouble I was having, and she was basically like, yeah, painting skin weights is a bitch. You just have to, the bits that you don't need, just try and get it right. Anyway, she's like, it just needs to be on the shoulder. Like, you don't need it on the back or the chest, that kind of stuff. So I went in and I took her advice, and I kept going, and I persevered, and I did my best. What am I even? Oh, I had some idea here. I don't even remember why I was doing this. I know I had a reason for selecting all the polygon faces, but I can't remember what it was. Either way, didn't work. So it was useless. So adding more edge loops, more polygons, not a good idea. And it didn't work. So sunken shoulders, terrible. It was just awful. Awful. Anyway, eventually I got it to work. That's probably in the news. We're still doing it in this one. Cool. We'll get through this as quickly as possible as well. So I went through a thing of I had to unbind it and rebind it a couple of times. That is, I think, because I did some stuff you're not supposed to do. And my mesh, it may actually happen in this video. So we're still just painting. We'll just, we'll just keep going. Keep going the way we're going. Is anything happening? That looks better, right? Depends on where you're looking from, I guess. Yeah, at one point I did something, I don't know what I did, and my mesh basically just collapsed in on itself. And then I hit Control Z to undo whatever I did, and the skeleton undid. Went back to its normal position, but the actual skin, the mesh itself, didn't. Don't know what happened. So I had to unbind the thing. Thought I was going to have to delete the whole model and re-import it or something. I was very, very stressed, very upset. But luckily, I didn't. So I don't know if I caught that on camera either. We'll see. It would be in one of these videos. So painting stuff back in, taking stuff out. We're getting slightly better. I mean, there's a little bit of clipping here, but I mean, the camera's going to be over the player's shoulder anyway, because this is a third-person game. So you're not even going to see the front. And, you're just going to see him walk and carry a gun and stuff, so realistically, it doesn't fucking matter. But try telling that to past me, who has, set his mind to achieving something and won't let it go. Stubborn as fudge is what he is. You gotta, I'm just testing. You know what? That's right. Was just moving his arm around to see the deformations. You got to do it T poses, and then you got to do you got to do the whole range of motion to make sure. Look, it's getting better. So at least that's something to be proud of. It gets better, then it gets worse, then it gets better. That's kind of like my thing, is that, I get to a point where I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I keep going, and then I go, oh, I've ruined it. So then I have to try and backtrack to get to the point where it was good again. It's fun times. We'll just, his elbow, we've got a little bit, it doesn't really matter. Oh, well, that matters. See, that's the vertex you get to hammer in, which sounds very satisfying. And still got that stupid vertex. God, they annoyed me. I'm just making it worse. Making it worse. We don't need to see me making things worse. I feel like this gap here, there's a gap. It's probably when I was like texting Angelica going, what the hell is happening? Either that or at the end of this video. I don't really remember. So, did he collapse? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna, I know, just go back a little bit. Don't know why. The arm went down, the hand stayed up. That was very strange. I don't know why that happened, so I had to put that, manually put the hand back in. Ugh, that's pain. Pain in the B. It's a P in the B. So we will just, all the same, getting better. Slowly but surely. Only took me like hours and hours. I feel like I was trying to remember how to do the IK handles and the controllers for them and to attach the controller, but then I realized I don't need them. I'm just using animations from Mixamo, so this was just pointless. I feel like I also did this for the Enemy 2.0, where I put in the IK handles and I did the inverse kinematic stuff, and I was like, I don't need to. I'm not hand animating it. It doesn't make any difference to me. So, oh dear God, we're still on it. Oh my God, this one's an hour and 20 minutes long. So we'll just go through this really quickly. Checking the legs. Does the leg work? Am I just doing inverse kinematics for all this? I am. Head moves, head rotates, hand goes up. We still got these little wingy bits. UV. I think I'm re-UV mapping him because I've done some changes. Also, if I'm bringing him into Unity in a T-pose, I need to UV map him again. So we've already seen the UV map stuff. Oh, okay, this is more interesting. This is Substance Painter. If it works, if it doesn't crash on me this time. So we're just gonna import the low poly mesh that we've been working on. We're gonna go down to the maps. We're gonna bake the mesh maps. I'm gonna do them as 2K. I don't know why. I just am. And then the high poly mesh that we exported from Mudbox as an FBX, we can use that to create the normal maps and stuff. So that is how you get a low poly. I was going to point to the screen. You get a low poly thing that looks like this to look better, to look like the high poly thing that we had in Mudbox way back when. This takes a while to do, to bake it through. We get the error for the UV default material ID because we didn't assign materials to the model in Maya, so it doesn't have a material ID. But you can still do the same stuff. I'm waiting for that to finish. I go back into Maya for a reason. Oh, I'm checking. I'm just making sure I have the export settings correct. Okay, that's fine. And now we have all the details that we had in Mudbox. So, and it's still low poly. It's still the same amount of polygons, but it's got the level of detail. Also, this is creepy as fuck. It's like somebody just, it is basically somebody just unfolded. It's like somebody ripped the skin off and laid it out flat. It's horrific. So we are going to see. I'm not great with Substance Painter. Again, it's something we were told that we could use it. We were given student licenses for it, but I don't think we ever had like a class on it. So I tried to figure out how to use it. Like it's if you want to do simple stuff like drag and drop in these smart materials, easy as pie, and you get textures and detailing on it that makes even a mediocre model look pretty cool. But when you want to get into like doing your own specific, like I had to do masks for this because it's all one object. See, in Maya, I could have added, like highlighted all the polygons for the jacket and put a material ID on that. And then the body, and had a material for the body, like the face, the skin, a material for the undershirt, a material for like a belt and gloves and boots. And then I would have had a load of different default material things here. And I could have dragged and dropped different smart materials onto each of them. And it would have only affected that material ID. That's why the material ID map is a very handy thing to have. But I forgot to do it because I am silly. So every time I dragged a material onto the model, it would apply to the entire model. So then I'd either have to hand paint the bits that I wanted different, which I think I end up doing in this, or use masks, and I'm not really sure how to use masks. I do think I still end up using a mask. I'm just not sure how to do it. So I get this Sci-Fi, I think it was called the Fabric Stretchy Sci-Fi. Seemed like a good idea for the coat and the trousers, just the uniform. I tried to put in some... I put in a mask. I don't really know what I'm doing, is the problem. It's white now. I wanted to change the color. This is the first thing I was trying to do, is change the color, and I couldn't even figure out that to begin with. I do want to say it's pretty cool that that Substance Painter can do all this and add these details and make it look, like three-dimensional and stuff. So I'm just trying to figure stuff out. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Substance Painter. It's handy. It's like anything else. When you don't know how to use it, it can be quite daunting because there's so much in it. I am trying to change the color. I can't figure out how to change the color. So, I feel like I couldn't even figure out how to paint onto it. I don't know. Like I was trying to paint the skin. I want to kind of be a blue alien, but I don't want that pattern on it. I wanted no pattern because you don't want the hexagonal skin. So it works. I can paint on that on a layer. So I've deleted all the layers. So he's back to just plain white, what he was. Put on the stretchy Sci-Fi fabric. I can't paint on that layer. Guessing that's what I'm trying to do. Add another layer. Bring it. Okay. Just gonna see. We want him to be a bluish color because he's a fishy alien, I guess. Also, blue's my favorite color. Whoa. Oh yeah, I'm hitting M. I think it's M to cycle through the different maps that have been baked. But it won't let me paint onto it. Why? Why? Oh, never mind. It does. So now for the fun part. Where I hand paint different aspects of this. So the undershirt is going to be this kind of purpley color. We will speed this up. Oh yes, you see, if you turn the height down, you can actually indent it. If you turn the height up, it outdents it. What's the opposite of indent? Extrudes it, I guess. Interesting. So I just color it all in. Yeah, then I was gonna color everything. Jeez, do I actually go and color the whole fucking thing? So I wanted a black, and I still, oh no, I still want a black lining, I guess, border between them. So I'm doing all these on different layers as well, so that they don't intersect. So like I guess I probably couldn't I? Well, like if I painted black there, if I just moved the purple layer up, it would kind of show on top of the black. That, you know, that's why I don't use Photoshop either. I just don't get it. And so I just keep it going, keep painting, hand painting in details. Try and make the little. I do end up using the actual 2-dimensional UV map because it can be, so you can paint on either and it will show up on both. If that makes sense. So for like the belt loop kind of thing, it just seemed, because it was a straight line across instead of having to rotate around. I just start out, and then as I paint along here, you will eventually see it start to appear. This must be on the opposite side of the guy. Painting along. So but that's the bit I've drawn in. So we're coming in close to it. So it's coming around this side. And then we can do the back. So we just, there we go. Same black border for the gloves and the boots. I would have, interesting. You can see the seams. See, this is the thing. You can paint across seams in Substance Painter, but if you have a design on it, you're going to run into problems. And that's just the way I unwrapped it, is caused that. So you know what? There's not much I can do about it. It'll be fine. It's not a big deal. It's probably something you won't even ever see because you never really see his legs or feet. Well, I mean, see a bit of his legs, I think. Yeah, but it's not that much of an issue. So I wanted leather for the boots. So this is where I have to start figuring out how to use masks. So I thought, could I just paint leather on? So I just put leather. It looks like he was about to fall over. So I add leather to another layer. So the guy now has fully leathered. He's still got his stretchy Sci-Fi. Now I need to do a mask so that I can paint through the leather to get to the stretchy Sci-Fi. Or through the stretchy Sci-Fi to get to the leather. I'm not really sure which way is which. I guess either or. I don't know. You'd want to, well, I mean, you'd want to be able to, yeah. You'd want the one that you have to paint the least amount for to be underneath. So have the leather underneath so that because I'm only doing the boots and possibly the gloves for the leather, so I'd only need to paint over the boots and the gloves. Whereas if I did it the other way around, the guy was fully leather and I had to paint through to get to the stretchy sci-fi fabric, I'd have to do, the legs, the torso, the arms, the whole body. Less good, more work, bad. But I'm still trying to figure out how to get the masks to work. So I have a little black dot there that I can't remember how I got it. I think I just end up doing Control Z until it disappears. Control Z. It's gone. No, it's still there. Never mind. Keep going. There we go. It's gone. So I still have stretchy fabric. Leather fine age is down here. I'm going to add a mask with color selection. Don't really know what the add a mask. Well, I'm adding a. I think I added a white mask. I did. So if I paint black, in theory, here we go, it'll show up. So I go over the boots, being very careful. Boots, 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 boots. Again, use the 2D map just to make it easier, because even if you go over this side, it wraps around, like, so it treats this, even though it's laid out flat as 2D, it does kind of treat it as three-dimensional, which makes it a lot easier to paint. So that's one boot, two boots. His face was a bit more difficult to do. So it has creature skin, so I ended up trying to use that. That face is terrifying. Looks like a sex doll. Like a really bad one. I've just lost my train of thought. Yeah. Anyway, trying to get the skin working, that was what I was talking about. Was a bit more difficult. Why is that white now? Black edges. We've got his boots. We've got all that. So I just put in the creature skin. He seemed to go transparent. So I've been looking through all the settings for like opacity, transparency. There is one somewhere. It took me ages to find it. I was like, why is it transparent? I did not understand. So when I was painting it onto his face, his face was becoming transparent. I was like, no, it's got veins. Something here has a transparency option somewhere. I know that for a fact because I found it and I turned it off. Skin. Sharpen. Color, emission, height. Wait for it to load. Didn't seem to do anything. So should go back a little bit. Where was it? Opacity. I just turned the opacity map off. And now we've got skin. So we just paint his head and neck and go around the edge with the black. So we got this kind of look. Changing the color of the leather boots. Am I? I think I was trying to change the color of the leather boots. Or am I changing the color of this? Nope, leather boots. That is an awful color. Very bright. can't actually remember what color I went for. Oh, that looks familiar. So there we go. Let's change the color of this. I think. Yeah, I'm painting the gloves to match the boots. I don't know if I kept it like that. Or changed the colors of them. I don't know. Ugh, no, that's awful. So, like luminous. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, paint. Paint it out, just make them a little bit darker. I just felt there should be some kind of contrast in the gloves. Boots, going to change color. And so you can also do like detailing, like scratches and stuff. They've got alpha brushes and stuff, and stencils, and so I was trying to make some veins or stuff for the head. You can't really see it. Again, I didn't need it. Vein. You just can't really tell. You know, it's not really adding to it, I don't think. You know, you just a few light scratches, but you know, it could be one of those details that you don't think it adds much to it as a developer, but you know, the audience would miss it if it wasn't there, kind of thing. I don't know, maybe not. But that was it. We just put some stuff on and put some scratches on the thing, and then we render it. And there we have, and export it. There we have our guy. Oh, let's go back. Oh no, where am I? Where am I? Not on that one. Fucking hell, where am I? Or this one. Where did it go? 28, 27, 26, 27, 28. That was at the end of this one, wasn't it? Yes. Anyway, not that matters. You got a sneak preview of what's going to be on the next episode, because I'm going to end this one here. And when we come back for the next one, we'll be jumping back into Unity with our new player and stuff, and you know, getting to the end of the project. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I apologize if it was boring. I want to try and make it as fun as possible and as interesting as possible, especially, but you know, when you're just watching me, you know, painting skin weights or painting models or that kind of stuff, I find it interesting and I enjoy doing it. I think it comes across, I worry that it comes across as a much more boring job than it is. Because while it can be time consuming and it can be tedious sometimes and repetitive, I don't know, I think it's totally worth it. I enjoy it, and you know, sometimes you can just zone out and it's almost like meditative, you know. Maybe not the best content for YouTube, if you know, for people to watch. But hey, hopefully some people will get some enjoyment out of it or learn something from it, or you know, find it interesting like I do. You know, I don't know. If you did, hit the like button, please, and thank you. If you could share it with people, share the video, share the channel, share the content, I would very much appreciate it. Help me grow the channel. I would love you forever. I love you forever anyway. I'm just that kind of guy. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing, please. And hitting the bell notification icon so you can be kept up to date with all the cool, repetitive, awesome upcoming content that I've got coming up. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time.